Welcome to Board Ghost, a story broadcast with games as the engine.
If living is a highway, then heaven is a bus stop. Been waiting for a minute there, or has it been forever? 'Cause dying don't agree with me, no. Dying don't agree with me, no. All you board ghosts, come with me, we're going home.
We believe you're out there, hungry for stories for shared experiences. We can't see you, can't hear you, yet we will play for you. This night's offering is Downfall by Carolyn Hobbs. If you want to listen to the previous episode to see the world that we built and also listen to our primer episode, you'll get a sense of how the game is set up and played. So this is a pretty weird new game for us, and this is our first time playing through it. Our players, myself, John Holt, with us.
Lisa Renke.
And Ken Breeze with you as always.
Based on the previous episode, we've generated a world of calm, which is short for Crucible of the Machine. The flaw at the heart of this world is Sloth, and the elements that sort of make this world are music, fire, and pasta. And so what this has created is a volcano cradle of civilization where these people live in the volcano, are kept by robots who give them pasta clothes every day.
Pasta clothes every day.
And there's a lattice work of rope bridges that hold a glass heart that is the main valve release for gases that keep everyone from being poisoned, and also serves a spiritual release because when people are going to die, they're supposed to throw themselves into the volcano. And so there are people who play this organ to vent the gases, and they play in a very minimalist way.
Exactly. And so our Cradle of Civilization calm is on a frozen world, the only place that people still live on this world. Think of like dystopian Jetsons. All the machines are doing everything. They're feeding you, they're clothing you, they're doing a lot of different things. But the things, they're even, birthing children at this point. People don't even give birth to their own children. You're just given a brood pouch that has a baby in it, right. And you're supposed to raise that thing.
There's three main characters in this game. There's the Fallen, the Pillar, and the Hero. And today it's interesting because we'll be switching back and forth between each character, so we'll all get to play all of them.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And to try and keep it straight for all of you, we're going to attempt an experiment here where we all sort of talk in the same way when we're playing that specific character.
Yeah.
So look out for that.
We'll see how that goes. Within the order of the world, and this will kind of inform the names of our characters, there are three classes. There are the lowest class, the people who actually have to work, called the doers. There is the middle class who manage the doers, which are the pointers. And then there are those who are of the highest class who can lay around, who are the layers. And the strata within the layers is how much of your body you have replaced with synthetics, whether it's robotic organs to manage your systems or, plastic skin that doesn't sweat and may be see-through to show off your robot organs in parts. The way this is going to work game-wise is, like you said, we'll each be taking turns playing the characters. We'll start with the Pillar, who is going to corrupt one of the traditions in our society, and then one of us who's the hero will set a scene. We'll play through that scene. Then one of us who's the Fallen will set a scene. We'll play through that scene, and then we'll kind of see where we're at, and then rotate so that the person who was playing the hero before is now playing the Pillar, etc., etc.
So in the first round, who will you be playing, John?
I'm going to be playing the hero, Doorg5. So he is a doer who plays the heart organ at the center of this volcanic lattice work. And he is our hero. We're going to give him, maybe we can all go around and try some of this, but he's kind of got a heroic, strident voice to him. He's also an artist, so he might have some feels in there, but he'll definitely be, he has a lot of emotion. So
Definitely.
I play with minimalism, but minimalism just, I don't know, I need more. Lisa, what's your take on Doorg5? So people know.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe that there's so much gas in here. I'm doing my best.
This world is crumbling around us. We must save it.
Ooh, it could go Kirk.
I know, it might get Kirksey.
That's all right.
It feels Kirksey to me.
I like that idea.
Yeah, good.
So he is
touch point.
an organist, and he is in opposition to this minimalism at the heart of their arts and their freedom of expression. He wants some freedom of expression. So that will come into play in his identity. And one of his antagonists in this, the Fallen, is actually someone who he's grown up with and works with him. And Lisa, you're going to play him first, I believe.
That's right. I'm going to be playing a character named Dovent5. And I think that he's going to talk a little bit like this. And in order to do this, I have to hold my hands in front of my head.
Oh, my ass is killing me. Oh, help. Why are you such a pain in my ass?
Dorg, there's just not enough gas to play that note.
Some other facts about the fallen Dovent5 is that he is the friend and kind of a guardian / coworker to the main character. He works on the lung organ, but he's mainly in charge of venting things, hence the vent part of his name. And they've been working together for 25 years. He has a tattoo of a hammer and a lung on his head. And he's like everyone, he's wearing a pasta suit, but it's very, very thin. And he's way more muscular than everyone else, most other people in this society. He's only had one replacement part, which is kind of unusual for for being a lower class person. He has his lower jaw is made of metal. And he's 45 years old.
The last character in the game is the Pillar, who I'll begin playing as, and the Pillar is Lavi. Lavi is a layer who is actually infatuated with Dorg5's music. Lavi is a very devout member of the religion of Calm, meaning that Lavi has had 20% of their body is only organic. The rest, 80% of it, is synthetic. Most of their organs have been replaced, their skin, their heart. They lay on a palanquin all the time. All the time? They never are not laying on the palanquin.
I mean, it wouldn't be a layer otherwise.
I know, seriously, right? They have this translucent skin so they can show off their mechanics. They're also like 250 years old. The layers can live up to 500 years because they're not doing anything and they're having their organs and bodies replaced by synthetics. And the voice that we decided was sort of more of I guess, an aristocratic voice, sort of like a nasally, like, oh, I love music so much, and I can't wait to hear the next piece, sort of thing, right?
Sort of like, oh, Dorg5, what was that note you played? It was so nice. I really enjoy it when you play. I make sure I'm awoken for those 49 minutes.
The viscous fluids that are running through your body repulse me, but not you, Dorg5. You clearly have vented all your fluids.
With that, we'll roll into our tale.
The tradition that is being corrupted recently in the world of Calm is that in people, instead of bringing themselves to the lava, the magma that is at the bottom of this world to throw their bodies into when they're about to die, they've decided to instead not do so much work and just collapse and die wherever they collapse and die. They have decided that it is more in keeping with their religion and with their ideas of how they can be slothful to not participate in throwing themselves into the lava. It's a small percentage of people, but it is starting to happen. And so whereas most people would get thrown out of the haven, they'd get thrown out of Calm, meaning their dead bodies would get rolled down the side of the caldera into the frozen wastes. These people, specifically the layers, I'm thinking, have decided to not throw themselves into the lava, but instead die on their palanquins. And so there's sort of a crisis about how to deal with this highest strata of society beginning to buck this tradition.
So I'm going to say that we have just finished a round for our day's work. We finished our day's work, and are going down to the bunkhouse where our doer class sleeps and lives. It's very warm down here, and we move slowly so as to not work up a sweat. That's crass. And we're down there, and Doorg 5 is with Dovent 5. They're sort of inseparable. They work together. They effectively sleep next to one another. They've grown up together. And as we come in, the crew from Doorg 6 and Dovent 6 are awakening and prepping themselves. They slowly stretch, crack a little like pasta, and sigh because they're up. They know they're only getting their 23 hours of sleep that day. With us so it's sort of this scene, the three of us, and what's happening is we're noticing that there are a lot of, like, against the wall, there's a bunch of empty bunks, and the reason being is that's where the doe-edgers, that's where they sleep. And the doe-edger's job is to take bodies up to the edge of the volcano and roll them down over the edge. And so we're noticing, like, we take note of the fact that there seem to be a lot of them up, a lot of them away from the bunks. And most of this place, people are sleeping, and you kind of hear like quiet breathing and the cracking of pasta, the shells like around them, and you hear like, like our robots are waiting by our beds for us to go to sleep so they can like re-encase us in our pasta clothes. So who will play? Do you want to play one of the like Doorg 6s as the pillar?
Dovent 6 for sure.
And then we'll play the 5.
Yeah.
Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Dovent 6 sees the two of you returning and says, "Hey guys, how was the machine today? It's like humming."
Yeah. Aren't you late? Shouldn't you be up there already?
Oh, am I? Oh no. I guess, but Doedge 7 was going to give me something. I was sort of waiting for them to come back.
Was he supposed to wake you up?
Well, yeah. Usually we sort of have a deal that's how it works. I think one of his machines, or one of my machines, is malfunctioning. I don't know, but don't tell anyone that.
You put me in quite the position. What do you think? Doer
5.
Dovent 6. What you're saying that the Doedge 7s are up already and out?
Yeah, I mean they left earlier. I don't know. I was asleep. Because I try and get 23 hours of sleep as much as I can. You know how I do.
Yeah, I don't understand why we have to. Why can't they just bring the bodies down into the voice chamber?
I don't know. I mean,
it's
that's
faster.
Just never been
it
the
takes
way
so long to get up to the edge.
It's never been the way it's happened. I mean, I've been hearing rumors that some of the layers they're not going to the edge anymore. They're meaning the lava edge, that they're not throwing themselves in.
That's ridiculous. Why would they do that?
I don't know. It's just a rumor. That's just I don't know if that's
well.
true.
It seems like we should help them get there.
Their souls will never be free if they don't do it that way. What are they doing?
I mean, I guess if you believe in that stuff.
I do. Thank you.
I mean, we can free their souls if the edgers bring them to the lake.
But only if they do it that way before they die. That's the key.
I don't
Your
know.
soul has to still be in your body when you enter the lava, or else it floats up and goes off down into, I don't know, the salamanders eat them or something.
But I mean, we've seen enough falls like where people are throwing themselves in, and they definitely die before they hit the lava.
What? How are they dying? Just
I don't know. I just
shock?
I just watch, and it seems like the light leaves their eyes.
Really?
I don't know. Yeah, it seems.
I mean, one way or the other, this is the way it's always been done. So I mean, I guess it's sort of, I don't know, isn't it sort of selfish that they're not throwing themselves in the lava? We need those souls, don't we?
Selfish? Can we even say that about them? Can we speak ill of them at all?
Well, don't tell anyone I said that, all right?
There's a lot I don't have to say about you.
Yeah, I mean, it's already past our bedtime, but
I feels like everything's getting knocked off schedule, and that's not good.
Vent 6, listen, I'm gonna go over to where the edgers are. I'm gonna take the edge path up. Vent 5, do you want to go?
Yeah, I don't want you to work too hard by yourself.
All right. So
We might go. We're already late.
Okay. Well, good luck.
We'll try to find Edger 7. Is he was the one who's supposed to wake you up?
I guess. Yeah. Well, yes.
Yeah, we'll try to find him and give him the what's up.
So our hero, Doorg 5 and Dovent 5 work their way up the edge paths. There's these tunnels at the edgers. They're the ones who use a lot of these, like going up to the higher level tunnels. And so we're kind of following up this path and looking for edgers. We find like Doedge 4 and Doedge 4 and Doedge 3 like relieving a palanquin, like there's a body that is like half off of its palanquin, and we approach them and ask, hey, Doorg 5 is he's upset by seeing the body, and because we don't see them very often. It's the edges that deal with bodies.
And so we're pretty far away from the core of Calm, where it's warm, and so it's pretty chilly out here on the edges, and it's so chilly that trying to go up to the top of the caldera is a real tough thing to do. So a lot of times they use these chutes, these sort of metal chutes that they just throw the bodies into, and they think that they're just shot out of the perimeter of the outside of the caldera, and then they roll down into the waste that way. So it seems like these guys have decided to use the chute because the body that they on the palanquin is just this massive blob of a slug of a human, just super overweight. They almost look like a matzo ball, how they're encased in pasta. But yeah, that's what they're doing. They're sort of starting to shove this huge form into this.
Yeah, and the pasta's cracking off of it. And you note that it's like this thin little wasted kind of human inside the shell of pasta. So as that sheds away as they try to shove it in the chute. So I say to Dovent 6 or Dovent 5, listen, I think we need to talk these edgers into I want to talk these edgers into bringing this body down to the chamber of voice where we can throw this body in and play it like we should. Like we should play it properly. It should definitely live on in our music.
No, I don't think that's a good idea at all. This one's being put in the chute for a reason, because it did not follow our traditions.
There are certain aspects of our tradition that I think are stronger, and that's getting played through the organ of glass. And the hero goes and actually, like, he's not as muscular as the edgers. They're pretty strong. They have to carry stuff around, but they aren't used to any sort of resistance. And he pushes them away and takes this frail form from inside the pasta shell stuff and cradles it and starts to head back down through the edge tunnels.
Edge 4 yells out after Doorg saying, shouldn't you be in bed?
And I yawn, but say, I have somewhere I have to go. This is important to me.
Okay, then Dovent 5, her scuttles after Doer 5. Or Doorg 5.
Say Org 5, maybe. I like Org 5 and
goes after
Vent 5.
Doorg 5, Skirty's after him, like,
What are you doing? This is insane. This isn't the way he's supposed to go.
It's not how it's supposed to go, but maybe it's the way this is how it's going to go.
You're just being selfish. You just wanna play more. You just want more gas. You're doing this for your art, not for this thing that's left.
It's such a waste to let this life, this soul, not be played properly.
The soul's already gone. That's what we've learned since we were children.
Well, I'm going to show you it's not. I'm going to bring this body down and show you that it's not gone. It's going to make gas. It's going to play through.
All right, let's do your experiment.
So I carry this body down through, and there's actually, like, as we pass in, it's getting hotter. We're pretty low down. What is the name of this place again? It's the
Hall of Voice.
The Hall of Voice. Okay.
It's where people usually throw themselves into the lava.
So we're making our way down into the Hall of Voice, and there are like a couple like old layers who are dragging themselves, like, and we just walk past them. Like, that's a pretty common sight, and in the corridors of the Hall of Voice, and you hear this like rumbling sound, this like growling, but also almost like a chewing sound, as this like it's lava cracking and crumbling and grumbling, like right on the edge of this thing. And as we get close, it's just the heat is very strong and oppressive, and we watch as someone hurls himself off, and just you hear the of their body igniting as they reach closer to the lava, and there's no splash sound or anything. You hear the like shrieks of the salamanders that are amplified by hollow voice, but that creates like a sound in the hollow voice. It's amplified by the hollow voice, and there are pointers who are keepers of the hollow voice. So they're like poi voice priests, and they watch us. Their jaws agape as I carry this dead layer to the edge of the hollow voice.
Once I hear the Jovent 5 says, may the lava sustain you forever.
And there are cries of lava salamanders from down below.
So I reach the edge and I throw this layer off into the lava, and it burns my eyes to watch. So I have to like turn my head. There's just so much heat radiating. We're so close, and the gases are also very strong down here. So what we hear the and the within the chamber, within the hollow voice. And I pause, I hold myself. I'm not sure if it's going to work. Like, this is blasphemy in some regard. And I wait. Is what I did, am I going to be struck down? And the point voicers wait and listen. The sound reverberates, the salamanders do their thing. And I feel like I did it. This is just like that body that threw itself over. I have delivered this body, this layer.
Did it go whoo, and then whoo?
Yeah, it did the whole.
It did the whole normal sound.
Because really, it's just a,
Okay.
It's just a sound reverberating thing, but we've given it religious significance.
And
there is a consequence.
The body you've thrown just is Law X.
Law X. All right.
Sure. But there is a consequence. You hear the screaming of the salamanders stop.
Ooh.
And instead, you hear a sound from the salamanders that you've never heard before, which is merely a sound of almost them heaving for breath, like they can't breathe. And and I guess we walk over to the edge and look down at them, and we see that the ones in the immediate vicinity are all scrambling towards the surface of the lava, trying to gasp for air, and it looks like they're gasping for air and they can't breathe, and then they fall back into the lava, apparently dead.
Oh.
And that seems to be, as far as we can see, all the salamanders in the caldera are doing that, as far as we can see, and the food source of Calm has become significantly endangered.
Indeed, because
as the salamanders have grown extinct.
The salamander eggs that they produce are used to create the pasta that everyone in Calm dresses themselves in.
So the hero is horrified by this. So we'll do scene there. That makes sense.
So the Fallen sets a scene now.
The hero is in the Hall of Holding, which is essentially the jail of this community.
Nice.
And the hero, and in the separate cell next to him is Dovent 5. You see the La Vie coming to visit and trying to get past the guards to talk to Doorg 5. La Vie has some information about the upcoming trial that he is to face.
La Vie is on their palanquin, are not really wearing much pasta clothes because they want to show everyone their plastic skin and translucent skin that's showing their different organs that have been replaced by mechanics. Specifically, they have an external mechanical heart with glass valves, which you see a fluid sort of spurting through and going through every so often. and Lavi is talking with the duos, I guess.
Duos.
The duos. They are saying, move aside. And the duos do. They listen to Lavi very, very,
and his
very
palanquin
specific.
just floats its way.
Indeed,
forward,
on
with him,
repulsors.
laying on it. Yeah.
Yep, almost as if it's being guided telepathically or something like that. Sort of like one of those Sealy Posturepedic mattresses, sort of like is sort of like just sort
It's
of like
raised.
raised up, so they're sort of like sort of their back is as like a 45-degree angle, so they can see ahead instead of just seeing upwards. Lavi is looking at Dorg 5 and laments, it pains me. It pains me that you will not be able to play during the 5th hour as normal. I'm thinking I may be able to just do away with this trial business, perhaps.
I don't know why I would even need to go to trial for this.
You broke our laws. You did something crazy.
It is true, you have been blasphemous, but some could say that is very cutting edge for an artist of your type.
I don't know. I just know that if we could make more. I didn't know that was going to happen. I don't know why.
Oh, no. You must have meant to do this. This was performance art, was it not?
I mean, it serves. I hoped it would serve my art, but I didn't know. I mean, is it that the implants were the implants toxic?
Implants? Oh, in the layer, you mean?
Yeah, I don't.
Yes, Lavi 6. Lavi 10.
Law X. Law X was the
Law X was the one he threw into the lava.
Law X, yes. Law X had replaced their shins, I believe, as well as their arms.
Well, I don't know. I mean, well, maybe the po voy down in the Hall of Voice, maybe they could answer. Like, maybe they know why this happened. Maybe they can tell us why this happened.
I will do what I can, but the trial may be a necessity. People are worried about you, Dorg 5, and you, Dovent 5. Your
I know.
part
I
in
was
this
there.
your part in this is not gone unnoticed.
I told him not to do it, though. But still, I let him. Let them.
If there is any sort of toxic substance in the modifications that layers have done to their bodies, and that's what prevents them from being thrown wholly into the volcano, through the Hall of Voice, then perhaps we shouldn't be doing these implants.
No, you genius of an artist. No. The machines would never do anything that would be to our ill. They only benefit us and make sure that our society has cohesion.
I mean, I'm not saying that the implants don't prolong lives and make the layers who they are, but is it worth it if your soul can't be played through the organ?
I think you're reading too much into this. I don't mean to be a negative Nettie, but we're in a holding cell, for Christ's sake. The reason I don't know why the salamanders died, but Law X could just as easily have thrown himself into the lava. People throw themselves into the lava every day, and this is the only time this has happened. It's not because of the implants, it's because of blasphemy.
I don't know.
Careful, Dovent, you're sweating.
I'm fine. If I've blasphemed, I'm not going to stop now. I'm not going to wait for any trial. And I get up and I exert myself against the bars and pull the pasta bars apart. They just crack. I'm winded from the strain of doing it, and I fall. I collapse outside of the.
By the voice of the machine, you are amazing.
Wait, what are you doing? Where are you gonna go? They'll find you.
I'm gonna go to the Hall of Voice. I need to talk to the Povoy.
Just make sure you make it to work on time tomorrow. I would hate to miss your set.
Are you coming, Vent? Should I get you out of there?
No way. You're on your own this time.
I will make sure that you have the best representation possible.
All right. I start like
We wouldn't
lumbering.
want to split up this team.
I start basically power walking, which is winding me as well, out of the holding area, and the dohos can barely keep up with me. They're like, oh, they collapse outside. Our superior physiques from climbing up and down those ladders has given us
Definitely.
a slight advantage.
Slight edge.
So I flee the chamber.
Yeah, and you run down and down along the...
Run down to the through the edge tunnels,
Through the
past
edge
a
tunnel,
few
yeah.
like Dorg 5 people.
Dorg 5?
What are you doing?
Shouldn't he be asleep?
And I go to the
The Hall of
Voice.
Which is so suspiciously empty at this time. There,
Yeah.
You only see the one priest.
Yeah,
because
one like the keyhole, like a lavo.
Lavo. Oh, there was only one Lavo, as the rest of the colony that you've passed seems to be in chaos. You thought at first that the pasta layer wasn't put back onto you because you were in a holding cell, but you see that everyone's pasta layers have stopped being made, and everyone looks a little thinner today than you've ever seen them before.
I run up to the Lavoy, and he's laying on his palanquin.
Bless you, Oh, it's you. Wait.
Oh, it's you.
Lavoy, I praise unto you. I'm sorry for this. I'm sorry for speaking so high above my station, but I must know, how do you prepare the bodies before you allow them to throw themselves in?
Well, you're not supposed to learn this until you go through the process yourself.
Where do they go in? Where do they enter?
What will you give me?
I will dedicate my next performance to you.
And you're the blasphemer, the one that everyone's talking about. And your performance is supposed to be good? Exactly?
I've only heard praise, no complaints.
Well, is there anyone who will pay me to hear your performance dedicated to them?
I can only imagine one of my patrons, perhaps Lavi.
They are a powerful patron, if that is true. Fine, I shall tell you. Before people enter into the holy lava, we have them cleanse themselves in this in this vat of mercury.
And they lift up a holy cloth that reveals
Gross.
reveals a silvery pool.
And you can see mechanical arms, like, kind of
Nice.
like whirring inside it, too.
Yeah. And also, like, around the edges, there's how do I want to call it? It's like a pathway, like a maze structure around the edges, so that as the arms flow up, throw up the mercury, they hit against the side, and like in little small silver balls roll through the maze sections back into the bottom.
Lavoy,
Yes.
how does this device work? What does this do?
It prepares you for death, child.
I'll have to see this for myself. And I
No!
I grab the Lavoy
Okay.
and hurl
Them.
the Lavoy into the pit, into the mercury bath.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
I will play for you. I will play you soon. I will play you so well.
Okay. Well, you see the hands come up and grab the Lavoy as you throw it into the pit, into the
Bath.
and you see them cradle the Lavoy and gently dip them and gently hold them under for like 30 seconds. 30 seconds go by, a minute goes by, and the arms come back up, and you see the Lavoy gasping for breath as mercury falls out of their nose and ears and eyes, and they start coughing up silver mist. But the mechanical arms gently wipe them off and put them onto another
Yeah,
pelican.
like a mop part comes out and just sort of squeegees
Yeah, a
them
la
down.
Jetsons.
Yeah, exactly.
Jetsons bath style. Yeah, and lays them onto a what looks like ivory, but clearly isn't because there isn't any ivory in this culture. Onto a ivory pelican, which then locks them down into it and takes. And the pelican, ivory pelican, starts moving towards the lava.
And we noticed that where before Lavoie had a silvery, like black onyx eye with a lens in it, that's just a void. There's no eye there.
The mechanic is gone.
Okay.
And he's taken to the edge, and the palanquin like stops and just like raises and unlocks him, and now he's like naked, huddled, shivering on the edge, and weak. And also blind, at least in one eye. And perhaps the Lavoie also had a lung. Yeah.
That was false.
Right.
So you see the Lavoie gasping for breath and stumbling and eventually falling, even if they didn't want to, down into the lava. And you hear the iconic poof.
And then it reverberates. I will play you, Lavoie.
Okay, so there is a consequence
Really?
to your actions. The doors of the Hall of the Voice, a lock closed behind you, and you are trapped in that room.
Trapped in the Hall of the Voice. Okay. Lockdown. Are there like alarms blaring and stuff like that, or is it just like
He doesn't hear any
Doesn't
alarms,
hear
but
any alarms.
he knows enough in this to know in this society that there's alarms going off somewhere.
All right. So now moving to reflection for this So Dorg before we rotate. So Dorg 5 has been really like fixed on this idea of having more notes to play, and there just never seems to be. He's edging all the time. Like he wants more, like just that little bit more, and it's always just on the edge. And now it seems like initially he had it, like he had the answer, and now he's solved that answer, and he knows that he'll have so much more to play if he can make this work. But the challenge now is who's going to let him in to play it, and he's way out of his comfort zone.
I feel like the other challenge is that he's sort of turning into a serial killer.
Yeah.
Pasta, probably like more of a pasta whole wheat killer. Yeah.
The other challenge is the colony is starving.
Yeah.
Or will be starving soon.
Or at least they can't make pasta
They
anymore.
can't make pasta.
But they're severely limited in how much pasta they'll be able to make.
So, yeah, he's sure like his goal towards like true expression.
Yes.
He feels like he's closer, and he doesn't feel like he's killed anyone. He feels like he's brought about a means to cleanly and truly express this person, and that if he saw that the additions, the implants, were toxic when they're expressed through the volcano, and to him, for anything to be like not pure when it's expressed through the volcano is that's a true blasphemy. And so what he's done is purified this Lavoie, who arguably because of the implants was extended beyond a natural life. And now he's like given the Lavoie back into the volcano, and they're back into life. He saved the Lavoie.
You saved him.
Ooh, okay.
All right. Now
and this,
That's a strong serial killer we just built.
Yeah.
Good job.
Pretty good. Yep.
Well, again, it's all perspective.
It is all perspective.
Because it's for him. Is it serial killing or is it
Purification?
Purification. Is it a society that's full of corruption and
the hero
and poison?
Yep, they're full of corruption and poison. I love it.
So now the pillar. You're gonna pick
describes
something.
the tradition and how it's being corrupted.
I'm gonna build then off of what Ken built, and I'm gonna corrupt death further.
Yeah.
Cool.
So what we didn't deal with last time was really the onset of bodies that are piling up around all the layers who are refusing to be to throw themselves into the volcano have also locked their palanquins to turn them into eternal coffins.
Yes.
But unfortunately, we also know that now we now know that the additional mechanics creates some kind of poison.
Well, at least the hero knows this.
The hero knows this. But now
others might.
And nobody knows that yet.
Nobody knows but the hero.
But the hero, yeah.
Okay.
Right. And so far, probably.
Right. And and Dovent might kind of grasp it. Maybe not what does it, but that he knows that basically what they know is there's something in the bodies that are thrown that don't throw themselves and don't go through the purification in the Hall of Voy that they weren't aware of, as not because they weren't part of the priesthood. They didn't know about that purification, and so if they don't go through the purification before they're thrown into the caldera, then it creates a toxin of some sort, or something bad happens.
All right, but the toxin now is building. The toxin from these decaying bodies is building up and being released into the upper atmospheres now in the layer areas.
Because they aren't being
dropped out. They're not. Their coffins are their palanquin coffins have essentially been stranded, and people before they die tell their loved ones they're not allowed to move it. That this is the permanent monument to them.
Yes,
it's
like a tomb.
It's like a tomb, like a Vita Perón and I don't know Mao Zedong. I think.
Yeah, totally.
And the edgers are being sort of scared off from.
Yeah, the edgers are exactly. They're being scared off from performing their jobs by this sort of movement amongst the layers. That's like. We're not going to throw ourselves into lava anymore. We are monuments of ourselves. We're going to just drop dead here.
But the previously healthy pillars are now starting to suffer and starting to drop dead prematurely, and no one knows why yet.
The who?
The layers. The layers
are dying prematurely.
And getting ill, and there's some kind of holy disease going around that is perhaps people believe perhaps that what you did killed the salamanders and is now killing the corruption you brought upon our society the corruption that Doorg 5 has brought upon the society is killing people, not just the salamanders.
Right.
So the blame is going.
There's like a plague, like a holy plague upon the haven, upon Calm, because of the actions of Doorg 5. So does Dovent 5 still very much believe still in everything, right?
They're a religious zealot for sure.
Exactly.
And they're probably well behind this belief that what Doorg done is straight sacrilege.
Yeah. All right. So I will set the scene then, since we have now realized what's going on with our corruption. Exactly. I am the hero at this point. I am Doorg 5. Doorg 5 has been able to basically has been on the run. They've sort of been ducking different people, specifically the Ducons, the Doer constables, the police force, if you will, of the society. After he was locked in the room, he decided the only way out was to go down into the lava areas. So he's actually now looking around the lava areas more. He's been able to encase himself in like a suit of like power armor almost, like sort of shielding metal pieces to shield him from the lava. And he's looking for salamander eggs. He's trying to find out what's going on with the salamander eggs. And he has come upon other people who are doing that as well. Dovent 5 is probably down there as well.
Dovent 5 has been reduced to a dough hatch.
A dough hatch, yeah. Dovent. That was the outcome of the trial. That Dovent was
demoted
to dough hatch. Yeah, exactly.
Which is like a very short lifespan job.
And they totally had like their tattoo removed and like an egg tattoo like put on their forehead instead of the lung.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've totally been reduced into society. There are other dough hatches down there as well, specifically dough hatch 10. who's just the random person who's down there.
And there's also a pohatch too.
A pohatch,
Which is,
yeah.
what's a pohatch?
A
pointer.
who like
All right, I forgot.
Do-Org has not been demoted, and he is very surprised to see his friend Dovent down here, and says so. Dovent, what are you doing down here? Are you looking for eggs as well?
Do-Org-5, is that you?
It's me, Dovent.
It's not Dovent anymore. It's Do-Hatch-0.
Dohatch 0. Oh no. Oh no, you're a hatcher now?
And you'd be one too. You'd be Do-Hatch-0 too. Why'd you run?
Well, I had to. It's you don't understand. Something's very wrong. Very, very wrong. I think that we've been lied to or something. The bodies, their souls, they are corrupting things if they're not taken care of properly. We've been playing corrupted souls. And I also have made a promise to Poivoy that I will play their soul very, very well. I'm actually happy to find you. Maybe it's possible that you and I could get back into the lung and play the souls correctly.
I would love to have my old job back, but it's more important that I fix what you did. Only by do-hatching do I think we can bring back the salamanders. You should just be down here helping. It's the only way that they'll allow you back in our society. Repent.
I'm my friend. I'm sorry. I don't see how that will help anything. I think that there needs to be a song played that will let everyone understand the majesty of our world and what's really going on. This will be my masterpiece. It will be something that will show everyone the true light of calm.
You're a fool. Have you seen what you've done here? Do you know why there are so many hatchers awake now? We have hatch 1 through 24 out and 3 zeros, including myself. And what are you wearing? What is this? More blasphemy upon your blasphemy?
I just wanted to make sure that I didn't get hurt by the lava. Is that so wrong? Is it so wrong that I would put on a metal suit instead of a pasta suit?
The lava gives life and pain. This is holy.
and you look at Dohatch Zero's hands are burnt where he's been holding these like blistering hot salamander eggs.
What about you, Dohatch 10? Wouldn't you be happy to not have to be here hatching eggs anymore?
I've been doing this job for a really long time, and I love it here. I just love it. But there's almost no eggs anymore. I mean, look at the Pohatch over there. He's pointing, but he hasn't anything to point to.
And you see over in the side someone just pointing at the wall and crying.
And Dohatch 10's face too is like from a lava accident is like melted pretty
face.
badly,
Yeah,
pretty brutal. A lot of burn tissue.
Well, I can all but guarantee you after I play my masterpiece that Dohatch and Doe Point and Point Hatch and all of them will have so many things to be happy about. I think that perhaps I should talk to Pohatch. Perhaps there's something I can say to them to help them understand how they can see the world in another way.
What you should do is just help us put these eggs in the incubator. We need more salamanders now.
I guess that's true. Well, I feel really bad about what happened to you, Dohatch 0. So I guess I can spend some time looking for eggs. And he does. He does help Dohatch 0 look for eggs. But I don't think they find any, or do they? Do they find
They
any?
find a few like
Find
small
clutches.
But it's gonna be a while before like they're able to replenish. And so because the eggs are harvested for pasta and only a few are hatched, there's going to be like very little pasta and food for a long time until like a couple generations of salamanders are replenished before there's enough eggs.
Yeah. Do-Org-5 realizes sort of that after a few a work day, as it were, and says, I just don't think that
it's a 2-hour work day.
It's a 2-hour work day, exactly. It's tough.
That's
really
why the hatches
are
like one of the harder jobs.
Yeah. You got to work that long shift. And also you might fall in lava or something like that.
It burns. You walk on these like your thin pasta shoe shells.
At the end of it, Do-Org goes to Poyhatch and says, are you all right, my friend?
No.
Yes, I can see that your life's work is ruined. I mean,
I have nothing to point to anymore.
if that's the case, I mean, perhaps it is time to join your voice with the rest of the voices of Calm to be let free.
What are you talking about?
I'm saying that I could play your soul into a more beautiful and prosperous place.
Play my soul?
Yes, indeed.
You mean you just play music to make me happy?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying, is that the music of the glass lung could be used to bring meaning back into your life, into all of our lives.
It sounds pretty good. I can do anything to stop this endless sea of pain of pointing to nothing.
Well, I can assure you that you will be leaping out of that sea of pain in no time.
Pohatch just looks up at you with like anime large eyes with like tears just dwelling in the corners, but there's a slight touch of hope in them.
All right.
Is that scene?
I think that's going to be my scene.
So here's the consequence.
Yeah.
Starting with the sort of lowest of the low, and this cult of it's called the Voice of Org.
Yes.
Starts to grow amongst the lowest ranks of the hatchers or doers and pointers, and work its way up and in, where there are jobs where people are abandoning their posts and going to the Hall of Voice and throwing themselves into the volcano.
Yeah.
And talking about, the language is about being played, and
Yeah.
that becoming pure.
They're sacrificing themselves before their time.
It's like effectively a suicide cult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a suicide cult forming. Sweet. Called the Voice of Org. Awesome. That's sort of like a rival, or not even a rival religion, but almost like a sect.
Yeah.
You set the next scene, please, John.
So the hero is climbing down into the glass heart. The Po-Org, the Po organ, watches you silently climbing down in, just observing right now, deciding whether they may follow.
Is it 5 o'clock? Is it the specific time, or is there another?
You've recognized that
Do-Org here as well.
You haven't heard the organ play
Oh.
for a few hours.
Oh no.
And you climb into the organ, and inside there you see Do-Hatch 0 and Do-Org 2 and another Do-Vent and Do-Vent 2.
Okay.
So there's those three characters are in there.
And Po-Vent.
And the
or Po-Org, rather.
Yeah, the Po-Org is sort of up and out, and they couldn't come down
I
to
see
see
that.
them.
Okay, they just watched.
Yeah.
So it's Do-Vent 2, Do-Org 2.
And Do-Hatch
Do-Hatch
0.
0, who was Do-Vent 5.
Yeah.
And the situation is that you've come to play, and you've recognized as you've been moving around that it seems that a lot of doers are working multiple jobs and doing multiple shifts.
Yep.
And so you've come in, and an exhausted Do-Vent 2 and an exhausted Do-Org 2 are collapsed sleeping in the corner of the glass organ.
Right.
And Do-Hatch is trying to wake them and also eyeing the gas meters nervously.
Org 5 comes in stealthily and looks around, and then just takes a deep breath, saying, finally, where I belong. Yes, haha. Oh, Do-Hatch, what are you doing here?
You. It's all because of you that this is happening.
No, my friend. No. This is the will of the gods. It has to be. The voice of our people. It's finally being heard. I'm here to play. And Do-Org 5 moves over to the organ, obviously getting ready to play it as he...
And you see the Po-Org pointing. It's like,
Hey, stop that, that's not your job.
Yeah, and Dohatch 0, formerly Dovent 5, pushes you aside. Doorg, no. This is not your job anymore. This is the Doorg 2 and Dovent 2's job.
The Poe-org starts walking down into the lung to join you.
They cannot play what I can play. They don't understand what I understand. This has to be. Think of it. You could perform your actions once again, that which gave you meaning, Dovent, my friend. It is you. It is always be you. Us together, playing. I cannot do this without you.
Outlaw. You, yeah, I remember you. I remember how good you were. But the society is going into chaos, and I'm very sorry that you seem to have started this whole religion. I mean, I get that there's problems, but do you know what kind of problems you've created for all of us now?
The problems were already here. I am the solution. I will bring about peace.
There's no peace. There's no peace. No one's eating. We don't have food. I mean, I believe in your music. I think you're a great artist, but my God, the layers are dropping dead left and right, and they're not. And the doers are throwing themselves into the lava, and there's all of us pointers, and we have no one to point to anymore.
It doesn't matter. The gas is out of control.
And Dovent 5 now takes his wrench, his tightening wrench that he uses to adjust the vents, and he opens a valve straight wide. That it's a venting valve.
Yeah.
And brings the wrench down on the keyboard of the organ and shatters it.
Shatters the organ. Okay.
And just as a all the built up gases just vent themselves straight up and out as just a single like note. And really he just bypassed the organ and sent all those poisonous gases up and out.
The Poe-org just gasps and points.
And he drops the wrench and he's winded. That's
Doorg 5 is just flabbergasted by this. Is going to just sort of like just start crying, saying, "No, my instrument! Why? Why have you done this, Dohatch? Why?
You needed to be shown.
You've destroyed everything now. Now there is no voice whatsoever.
There's the only voice that is needed.
The voice of the vent?
The safety of the vent. One note. Clean as it's meant to be.
No. This cannot be the way that this is expressed. Doorg, now Do Outlaw, or Do Out.
Yeah, Do Out.
Do Out grabs Dovent 2 and shoves him bodily into a vent to try and put something in place of the one note to give it more tonality.
So it's just a scream?
like a
Yeah. He totally sacrifices Dovent 2. He doesn't leave. Instead, he grabs Dovent 2's prone, sleeping body and throws him into like a hatch that leads basically into the scalding, toxic.
Yeah, there's a consequence.
Yes.
In that, almost like the chocolate factory, his body is shunted up into the chute.
Yes.
And gets caught.
Yes.
In a wedge point.
Yes.
And cracks the pipe.
Yeah.
And the whole lattice work starts to shatter.
Starts to shatter, yeah.
And shake. I think that's scene, yeah? So now reflection.
So the current state of the Haven, the current state of calm, Crucible of the Machine is bad news.
I mean, do you think this is it? Like
this feels like
it
does.
After
definitely
so
feels
I feel like
more.
the upper layer is poisoned, the bottom layer is killing itself, and now the middle layer is going to have all those gases.
So I'm going to make my reflecting on the current state of the Haven. Eggs aren't being produced. The vent's broken, so toxic gas is really, really building up in the lower levels. It's probably already killed most of the people who were down there. The dough hatches themselves are probably wiped out. Poi hatch is wiped out. So anyone who's been working these lower levels have basically been asphyxiated and or scalded to death.
Or killed themselves.
Or killed themselves, this case maybe. Yep. Many people are joining the suicide cult. That's a great point. The voice of org is really growing at this point. It's turned into a real weird, not nihilistic, but a death cult for sure, where it's like the only way to save ourselves at this point is to sacrifice ourselves and to build the voice so that it is so strong and so powerful that it washes over everything and saves everyone. The layers come to their senses to some degree and realize that the system of calm, the haven, is going to be destroyed if they don't do something. And as they're living in the sort of the top or upper levels of the lattice work and of the caldera, I think that they have called for everyone to stop doing what they're doing, whether it be pointing or doing, or even laying, to search and capture the outlaw, the Doe outlaw, who was once Doe Org 5. So everyone's out looking for
And
them now.
what's Doorg 5 doing?
Dorg, thank you. Dorg 5, I think, is having a real crisis of identity. Their instrument has been effectively destroyed, and they need to find either a way to create a new instrument, repair the instrument that has been broken, while at the same time fervently believing that this masterpiece that they've been creating in their head, if they're able to play this, that this will set things right, that a new course for the Society of Calm will be set. I think the logic is that all of the gases in the vents are angry spirits and angry voices that are not being able to express themselves. Since Doorg 5, now Doe Outlaw, since freedom of expression is his rebellion and what he is about, he opposes the art of minimalism. His feeling is that the voices have not been able to express themselves and must be able to for things to turn into a positive situation.
I'm the pillar now, so I will set the corruption, and then you're the hero, Lisa, so you will set the first scene, and then Ken, as the fallen, will set the final scene, and then we will go into the collapse because we've sort of determined that this is the final round of our world, of our society, of our haven. I think what's being corrupted is the no one gives birth anymore. This whole mechanism of like having machines, like all the brood pouches were kept down in the like warm caverns,
Yes.
which are also basically the only thing that can live in the lower levels of the caldera now are the machines. And so they just bring
And
pouches with
salamanders.
Yeah, and this what is left of the
What is
salamanders.
left of the salamanders.
So the machines bring up these brood pouches with stillborn children in them, and but not at any sense of self-preservation. The voice of Org has also espoused this like expression through physical contact and through like laying with each other.
Yes.
And they've started to call themselves, if you've laid with someone, you are also a layer. You have people who are finding again their like in true reaction, they are finding the corruption is that they are giving birth,
Yeah.
live birth.
Yeah. People are getting pregnant.
Right.
Or women are getting pregnant, in this case. Maybe.
And raising them communally still, and like distributing them through lots. So there's still like a certain level of like of spread responsibility.
Wait, that means like years.
Time is passing
like a
little
good
bit.
year would have gone by, right? If you had, unless they have a really short.
Yeah, I don't think
9
they
months.
have. They don't have short gestation.
They're coming up with the system. Maybe the births haven't happened yet.
A lot of time has passed. Things have like equalized a little bit, not in a good way. Like everyone kind of lives in a narrow band.
Yeah.
Things are venting themselves naturally.
Mm-hmm.
They're still like, so you just have poison gas in the bottom, some like toxic rot near the top, and this thin band of
Livable.
Voorg and Law that kind of are at odds
Yeah.
in the center, eating stockpiles of ramen to stay alive and starting to overpopulate themselves again.
Maybe, yeah, that makes sense.
Like there's no
Yeah.
population control either. So
Well,
There-
I mean, how long has passed, really, though?
decades now. No, yeah, like maybe this is maybe
Like, there can't be that many kids born.
right. It's got to be. It's like maybe 9-10 months.
Okay,
have
so the
passed
first generation of naturally born children are showing up.
Okay, so I think society is in chaos. Both pointers and the layers are trying to order each other to do things, and only small bands of people are decided that they have to be helpful. There's contingency of people who think we have to band together, and like maybe that's 25% of the population. Then they actually have banded together and somehow have made a small band that's livable and still is somehow they've lowered themselves to being the de facto doers again, even though they're born high class. Then there's another maybe 40% who have become the org layers, the laying together.
the org layers.
Yeah, the
voice
org
of org
layers.
layers.
The
yeah.
voice of the orgs
Yeah.
layers.
Com's voice of org layers.
And then we have like maybe 30% who are layers who are, or no, there's probably 15% of layers who are just still trying to be traditional layers, and there's another 15% of pointers who are still trying to be pointers as best as they can.
Right.
And they're both of them are just struggling. So that's the consistency right now of the
Yes.
population
Yes.
of Com. The hero has, for the past 10 months, has had to find a way to disguise itself. It has used its position right after we ended the last scene to manage to get skin replaced with just latex blackness, so that he can travel around. Nobody knows what his class is really, and he can travel around stealthy like. The only people who can recognize are those who remember that he has one blue eye and one brown eye. So if you knew that about him, that's the only thing that gives him away. So the hero hasn't seen La Vie since it lent it the money to have his skin replaced. But this is the first time that it's returning to La Vie's residence. He's knocking on the door, and the situation is that he needs her help. He needs its help again, because it's desperate to find a way to rebuild the organ. It's turned to everyone else that he can think of, and this is the last person he can think of to try to get help from to rebuild the organ, thinking that La Vie still has enough power and wealth and control in the society to be able to do something. Knock, knock, knock.
The door opens, sort of compound that is built into the rock. The layers probably live in not a bunkhouse, obviously, but their own domiciles.
Yeah, they have their own, like, sort of almost like central room, and then some like family rooms, like each person.
I'm getting a real Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru vibe.
Yeah,
you
like
know,
little
like
bubbles.
that's like weird, like bubble rooms connected by tunnels. Might even have prized possession, which is like 2-foot thick plexiglass view out onto the surface of the frozen world. Like you can actually see outside.
And specifically, too, like there's the view out there, and he also has a plexiglass, so he can see like where the broken organ lattice work just sort of dangles in the center of the caldera.
The door just opens automatically, mechanically.
Dorg walks in.
And La Vie is laying there. His pasta is very thin, and he's chewing on a piece of pasta. Oh, Org, you're here.
My heart weeps for you, my darling.
I'm so sorry that you haven't had anything to do for so long.
Why, thank you, but I do have something very important to do. I have to make you happy again.
How would you do that?
You loved my music, I remember.
Yes.
You loved my music more than perhaps anything in this whole caldera.
Definitely more than those who call themselves your acolytes.
Indeed.
They don't understand your art, not like I do.
No, you're the only one who's ever understood. And that is why I want to help you.
It's just so unfortunate that you couldn't just stay comfortable playing how you would play. It was so beautiful when we had
everything balanced so nicely.
Yes, it was. And there's been no sound at all. Not my sound. Well, there's the sound of the society collapsing, I suppose, but we must rebuild the organ. We must bring it back and make it better than ever. Make it sing with the vibrancies of the souls of life.
Well, I was on the council in my youth, some 100 years ago, and I remember during one of the minutes, we would meet 1 minute a year.
And take the minute, yes.
There was talk of a contingency. Should anything go wrong, there are mechanical means by which we can restore some things to the world.
How? Do you remember anything about the lung? Can we restore the lung and vent this evil out of the society?
I'm sure there's a way. I mean, to go back to where we were would be ideal. It requires so much work, though.
Work that's worth it in the end, I hope.
Oh, don't speak like that. No work is worth it.
You're... But to see you smile again would make me work for all the world.
It does require fewer muscles than frowning.
Yes, exactly.
But I prefer to have no expression at all.
You were always so good at that.
And your music brought so little of expression out of me. I miss it. If you can find the switch and pull it... but it's behind a door. You'll have to open a door and pull the switch. I can't even... just to think about it. Excuse me.
I can't believe I started a new religion. I've been in hiding for 10 months and all I had to do was find the door and the switch.
All you had to do? It's too much for me to even comprehend.
Well, I must search out these switches and these doors and I must open them. Is there any door I can open for you before I leave?
No, I'm fine. Everything's all right. I really miss the music, and I just wish, you would go back to being where you belong and everything would just go back to being comfortable again, quiet, except for your music.
I assure you, my music will save the society. My music will bring everything to where it is supposed to be.
That's a beautiful thought. Where it's supposed to be is back into an organized and normal society with some nice rules that we all abide.
Will you excuse me a moment? And then he just goes around Lovey's house and just starts opening the doors. Every single door that's in her establishment. It's establishment.
In a sealed plexiglass, like in a drawer in a plexiglass thing, like a little artifact case kind of thing, is like a moldering manual.
Oh, okay.
And it's very old, very old.
Dorg 5 takes the manual, looks at it, opens it out. The camera sees many schematics of the volcano.
But you can't read it.
No, I can't, but there's pictures.
There are pictures.
Tell me, Olivia, what this old thing, can you read it?
Oh, reading. Oh my God, why did they even make us layers learn that? It takes so long, so much effort just to move your eyes across a page.
Tell me, what can I do to entice you to just read this one page that looks promising to me?
Oh, here. Why don't you move it, and I'll hold my eyes forward.
Forward. I'll just move the page for you.
That would be so nice.
So you just look straight ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't even have to say the words. You just have to tell me where the switch is.
Mm-hmm. Yes, so that diagrams. I don't even... Just point on the map and I'll let you... Yeah, okay, there. Yeah, all right there on the map.
Eureka!
That's the door. There should be a switch behind that door. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm going to have to call this a day. This was quite a lot of interaction.
Thank you for seeing me. My music will wake you up upon the morn, I promise.
I'll give it some time. This is, I'm, quite tired. This was.
Okay, so you keep talking, and
He's
Dorg
asleep by
just
the
dashes
TV.
out the door as the pillar as Levi falls asleep, and he dashes to the to the pointer section, and he goes to the appointed door, and he opens it, and he pulls the switch.
But there is a consequence.
Sure.
As the door is opened and the switch is pulled, there is like the sound of the workday ending, like the whistle goes off. Like there's just this, it takes a little while. There's rumbling before that blast of sound goes off. And it's so powerful. And so the pressure's been building for so long, months even at this point, that the lattice work of glass and rope begins to vibrate so heavily that it starts to fall apart.
So the center of the volcano?
The center of the volcano that holds the glass lung itself is starting to shatter and fall apart. And it does as it drops into the caldera's bottom. But yeah, that's the consequence, is that the lattice work is destroyed and falls into the lava with any number of people on that lattice work who are consumed.
They're showing their babies, like, look
at my baby.
Look at the lava.
They're showing their babies lava. That's right. There used to be eggs down there back in my day. The hero is indeed where a new set of lattice work has come out. Basically, think of a bunch of pipes have sort of extended from different sides of the caldera to form just like an 8-pointed, 9-pointed star or something like that. So it's all these different sort of beams that are crossing each other. So that in the middle of them where they connect, it does seem as if they're dropping more valves down into where the lava is at the bottom of the caldera to suck up the gas that's down there. On top of them, uncovered, is just a large organ. It looks like it has 2 different racks of keys on it, and it seems as if there are a number of organ pipes that are extending upwards towards the top of the caldera, so to pump the gas and toxicity out. The hero, our good friend Doorg5, is there, but also there is Dovent5 with his iron jaw. I think that Lavi is there as well.
He's wheeled out.
Wheeled out, indeed. And Doorg5 is just about to give his masterpiece, as they have taken position at the organ. And that's the scene.
1,000 souls have been pent up. 1,000 souls are ready to release a cacophony of sound and music and...
Free bird!
Thank you.
Free bird.
Once I thought we were brothers, but now, siblings at least. But now, you are my enemy. You've destroyed this whole society, everything I've ever cared about. These valves that you've put in there, blasphemous. You cannot do this.
No, I have rebuilt this society at a greater image than the one your puny mind has let itself believe for so many years. Come with me. Listen to my music. It shall save us both and create a society so free.
Dovent5 lays hands upon Doorg and tries to manhandle them, wrestle them towards the edge of this lattice work, saying, no, only through your soul being released will we reach equilibrium. This is the only way to put your soul through these vents.
Stop. I know that you're stronger than me, but just listen to my music one time, and if it does not restore the society within the first 10 minutes...
Let him play.
Dovent5 is strong, but not so strong that Doorg5 can't challenge him.
A lot of the societies come out.
Yeah, definitely to watch everything that's going on.
You have the Voyorg people, and you have the remaining laws and Pose coming out too.
And Dovent5 bites viciously onto Doorg's shoulder, using his mechanical metal jaw to just take a chunk out of his shoulder, trying to get at his neck, really, but missing.
And also it slides on his.
Yeah, he has fake skin.
Right. So he tears a bit of it off.
Tears a bit of it off. Yeah.
It's this weird
Yeah, he tears a bit of the
choking
fake
on
skin
skin
off.
Dovent, Dohatch, my brother. I ask you to look
Sibling,
around.
really.
Let's not. You took a chunk out of my shoulder. At least let me have my words. Look around you at the society. Do you see these people who seem to be this thing that's called love? Can you not see that there is a beauty in what they have done? Look over there. There's all those children who are looking at lava for the first time. They were just born from people, and they know who they were born from. There's no more weird sacks everywhere. There's only something
Don't disparage the brood pouches. They are the pillar of our society.
But there's no connection. These people have love. These people over here have love. You are an empty soul, and I wish you would remember, brother, that I love you.
All I see are people who are not letting machines do work for them. Blasphemers, all of them.
But they are free, and I wish that you too could be free. And he starts wrestling again. Mm-hmm. They're wrestling, and they're on the edge of the cliff.
This is where the scene,
probably.
the scene ends. Yeah.
So we flip over the character sheets, because that's what it says. And then whoever is the pillar last takes the world card. And so basically, collapse says player holding the card describes Haven's collapse through the hero's perspective. And then we'll pass it to the right. We each tell like a quick vignette, like a couple sentences. Dovent 5 slips back and stumbles back and falls into the lava below. And you hear from the hollow voices, so he's made his sound, and his gases join with the other toxic gases because he hadn't been fully cleansed. And the hero, Doorg 5, turns to play, raises his fingers to play on these two gigantic keyboards.
As the hero, the hopeful savior of the society, begins playing their masterpiece, it is beautiful music. It is gorgeous, tonal, as precise as it is sort of ethereal. And people are cheering and clapping.
Tears.
It's really both sides of this sort of riven society. Those who are trying to forge ahead with a new way of living, and those who are trying to hold on to the old way. Both are able to find a common feeling in this. It is so beautiful, though, that those who still follow the new sect begin throwing themselves into the lava to become part of this beautiful music. And their children, brutal.
Do Outlaw keeps playing, and it's beautiful, and it's absolutely beautiful, but he starts ramping it up. And he starts going higher and higher in the octaves, and lower and lower in the octaves. He's trying to push that organ farther than it's ever been pushed before, playing
and notes. This is the contingency organ, too, not even the first good one.
Yeah, it's not even the first good one. It's playing notes that are so high that the obsidian that's holding the volcano together starts to shatter. And the notes are so low that it starts shaking the entire volcanoes. The entire structure of the volcano starts to crumble and shake and crumble and shake simultaneously as he plays the lowest note lower than human hearing, and the highest note higher than humans can hear. And he in ecstasy, he's playing these sounds as the whole volcano starts to collapse down
and bursts the law's glass hearts too.
And the volcano, and as he screams to the heaven, screams about he's finally freed the society, and he's finally freed sound.
We are delivered.
And exactly. He's screaming about deliverance and finally touching the hand of the truth. The whole volcano collapses into the lava, and all is burned.
With that, our story ends. We will return again with a new tale to spin to dare to entertain. I was one of your players, John Holt. You can find me on Twitter at Lord Joho, or on Snapchat at NotDeadJohn, though I don't use it as often as I should. Where can people find you, Lisa?
Hi, you can find me on Twitter at LisaXRanky.
I'm Ken Breeze. You can find me all over the internet, but mostly on Twitter as well at Berlingsbeard, Berlings, as well as my blog. I'm also on G+. Definitely check me out.
Cool.
And keep listening to Board Ghost. This was a good one. This was weird.
Yeah.
This was
Real
super
weird.
weird.
I want to play this some more.
Yeah,
Play more
definitely.
of these. To learn more about the players and the engine in our story, visit boardghost.com. You can attempt to pierce the veil and contact us at BoardGhostWorld on Twitter. Shout out through the ether if you have desires we can fulfill. Leave reviews and comments on iTunes, your preferred listening portal. Please take a moment to subscribe so you don't miss out on the latest episodes. We'd like to thank Pat Couples for our theme song and interlude music. You can find more about Pat at patcouples.tumblr.com or on his band's webpage, hotelsandhighways.com. If you're not alone in the void, share our stories. The more they are consumed, the truer they become.
If living is a highway, then heaven is a bus stop. Been waiting for a minute there, or has it been forever? 'Cause dying don't agree with me, no. Dying don't agree with me.